in this two-parter, and she's haunted. So
that's
true.
And I'm not afraid to shit talk a demon to its face. So
I'm gonna say Julie is probably the most normal.
She probably is.
I said that to her.
Yeah, you did. I think you did. Just like her character is the most normal. The haunted one is the most normal, just by a smidge, I think. Because my character just has the self-preservation is much lower than the fuck around energy.
Correct.
Nah, I still think I'm the most normal. I think Amelia is the most normal. She doesn't have any fuck around energy. She's just there to take care of business. You know what I'm saying?
Most normal of your characters. Most normal of your characters.
Telling a story.
Most normal. It's the mash. It's the mash that makes it weird.
The absolute silence.
I didn't have anything to say. There was nothing. There was nothing there. I tried. It happened.
Anyway.
Raph, would you like to give any more justifications, or shall I jump in?
No, you're welcome to jump in. I don't need to make justifications for fact and truth. So
we also have very different definitions of that.
We need what nope. I thought I had something. I do not.
Fair.
Proceed.
My brain this entire week
is a place. Your reality is a place that exists. And that's valid. I love that for you.
One day, Raph, one day you are going to give me a normal character, and that is going to be an amazing day.
I already have.
No. Wait, who? Whomst?
Okay.
Amelia.
Today, Sophie and Amelia. Amelia,
absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
100%.
Sophie is not normal. Sophie just thinks she's normal. There's a difference.
Sophie's so normal. She's just a grad student.
Carmen is more normal than Sophie.
That is true.
Carmen is very normal. All of my characters are normal.
No.
Yeah, he was kind of lightly stalking his current girlfriend before they got together.
It's normal behavior. Going to be here on Blue Ivy's internet and sprout such lies from your face. I won't stand for it. No. Carmen normal? No. What do you mean?
He's just a guy. He's just a little guy now.
Now
he's just a little guy.
And before he was just two little guys, okay?
Mm-hmm. And that's normal? That's normal.
Yeah, that's normal in, the world of monsters.
In the world of yes, no. So here's the thing. No.
I stand by what I said.
And you know what? We love someone who's willing to die on the hill of wrongness.
Someone's got to do it. It might as well be me.
Yes.
Valid,
right? I don't know what did.
Well, with that, I will dive us into our introduction. It has been a time, as you can probably tell with the unhinged energy tonight, but we are here. And we are here to bring you a story. But before we get there, we are live from the apocalypse. We are a not-for-profit TTRPG studio that raises money for aid organizations and progressive causes. As you can see, if you are on our Twitch, as you would be if you are watching this as it is live, as you would not be if you were watching this on YouTube, we have the donate button where the subscribe button would usually be. And that is because we would like you to give whatever money you would have given us through subscription, bits, anything like that, directly to the organization that we are currently raising money for. And that organization is Rainbow Railroad, the Canadian branch. We raised $1,000 for the United States branch. Now we are helping out Canada. They are an organization that help LGBT people get from unsafe locations to safer locations. And in this day and age, that is a very important thing for them to be able to do. So at any point during the stream, you can just click the donate button. When you do that, the McElroy brothers will scream directly at me. So if I am doing a long narration, that is a great time to do that because I will completely lose my place and track of what I am saying, and then I will have to scramble. I cannot promise it. Sometimes the cast joins by screaming themselves. They may do this. Now, you can also subscribe. Thank you, Q. If you do, if you find the button, well, if you were here at the beginning, you might have seen the tragedy that unfolds, because if you click that button, Raph, stop encouraging it. We don't want to encourage this to happen. Raph, no. Raph, stop. We know that you still have beef with Fitz. It's fine. Anyways, as Raph was miming and mouthing, what will happen is that beloved Dimension 20 Dungeon Master Brennan Lee Mulligan will kill one dog for every month you have been subscribed. I believe we have lost like 40 dogs this week already, just through 2 streams. So right now we don't have a lot of werewolves to go in our lovely Monster Hearts game, A Season of Secrets and Shadows, which is coming back next week, by the way, just to throw that out there. So yes, make your choice. If you can sleep at night having done this, go ahead. But, otherwise, maybe donate that money to Rainbow Railroad. They will appreciate it, and we will appreciate that on their behalf. I think that's all the housekeeping I have to do. We'll go into some of the content warnings for this game in a few moments, but before we do, I'm going to let each of our players introduce themselves, introduce their character or characters, which one they're currently playing, and which playbooks are being used. And Raph, as Stella is not with us at this moment, that means we are starting with you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Raph, and I'm playing Sophie, who is using currently the child playbook. I am playing no one else because I'm doing A-okay. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
Are you the mom playbook?
I am the mom playbook, aka the child playbook, currently. And tell me if you have any allergies, what kind of snacks you prefer, nap times, we'll set them up. Yeah, bedtime stories, any favorites? I got you. Love you.
I don't trust any of that, Raph. I don't trust any of that.
Cruel.
Stephanie, you are next.
Hey, I'm Stephanie. Tonight I will be playing not Kai. He uses the Martyr playbook. I'll be playing Rebecca Dalton, one of the victims of the Ash Wednesday killer, and she uses the villain playbook. So, just very excited for this pathetic drowned rat. So, it's gonna be a fun time.
Having a normal one.
For her, yeah. Unfortunately, for everyone else, yeah.
I can't wait to see what happens with that. And you, who do we have on play on your end?
Hi, I am Q. Tonight I'll be playing once more Dominic, as everyone knows him here, who is the villain playbook. There was a brief stint where I was some guy named Raven, who was the trickster, but now I'm feeling myself again, and I'm confused, and I'm annoyed. So this can only go well.
Very much. And I mean, Raven isn't completely gone. So there's that.
Right, he's still tucked away, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, and tragically. And hi, I am JD. You can find me on socials at JD Not Jason Dean. And in this game, I am playing everyone else. We will be joined by Della in a little bit, and she will be playing Rachel and Siobhan. Rachel is actually the parent playbook, and Siobhan is the murder playbook. Sorry, Sophie.
No, that's okay, because she's using the parent playbook, not the mom playbook. That's the one I'm using.
Got it. I forgot that I made that playbook.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me.
If you
Bonus.
rearrange the letters of child, you get mom. So
How? Okay, now
if you chop them
let's
up into
walk
little
through that
pieces.
math.
anyway,
Let's
we
walk
should
through that
jump
mental gymnastics real quick.
in. Where were we, guys? Where were we?
Oh, okay. All right. So we're just gonna glaze over that. Got it. Cool.
We're weeping in the graveyard.
Cool. Right. And
Yep.
you are not yourself.
No. It's fine. Bottom
It's gonna be like I said, it's gonna be a real normal one. It's fine. It is so fine. But before we do dive in, as a reminder, Redacted is a psychological horror game. This means that various disturbing content could come up. This includes cults, religion, fires, burns, medical abuse and neglect, murder, gaslighting, drowning, and stalking are all topics that could appear at some point in tonight's session. If there are any other triggers, I will let you know. I have checked in with the cast, of course, on safety, and they all know what our lines and bails are, and we use the X card as well. I'd had a thought, I lost it. I'm sure it'll come back. It is fine. That is all I think I need to say on that part. Of course, if any of those are areas of content you would not feel comfortable being incorporated into the story, please step away. Live from the Apocalypse has plenty of other content. We do not want you to force yourself to watch this if there is material that you would find distressing or upsetting. And if at any point you are feeling uncomfortable, please do not hesitate to step away. We will be back for so many more streams over the next week alone. There will be something that I'm sure will catch your interest. And with that, we're going to first start with a brief recap because it has been a month and a lot happened in the last session. So we started that session with all of you at the church, having just found a portrait of Siobhan as the Virgin Mary. Following that, so many different things happened. A few of you had visions, perhaps, of a sort. Raven found himself back in a familiar location, a church in the wild, and very quickly had the funeral pyre on either end erupt in flame, trapping him in there, though Weston was able to jump in and get them out. Kai, meanwhile, found himself walking in a crypt and did not find a way out no matter how far he walked. He came face to face with what looked like a mirror, but was actually made of water. And in that, he saw a disturbing vision. A vision of Weston apparently stabbing him. Kai then stepped through that water, but what came out on the other side was not Kai. Siobhan, meanwhile, found herself in the graveyard. And as she was walking along, saw a familiar figure, one Isaiah Carpenter, sitting up in a tree and watching her. They exchanged some words, and Siobhan, using Rachel's gun, shot him and apparently killed him. Following that, Rachel returned, though Siobhan is still there with her in exactly the same way that Raven is still with Weston.
they were kind of more in sync than.
Yeah, they were kind of
they are in sync. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
They are getting along. You are not getting along. That is a factual statement. And Sophie, I mean, Sophie did have the most normal time out of everyone. You investigated the main area of the church. You found a Bible with some notes etched into the margins, and you found a box that you could not open. You went around trying to find more things that you could explore and commandeer, and yes, maybe steal.
I did steal the box.
And just as we finished, Kai returned, but again, it was not Kai. It was Rebecca coming face to face with that same portrait of Siobhan. The group of you made your way outside, and we left the 4 of you, well, technically, I guess 7 of you at this point, standing in front of Isaiah Carpenter's grave. Rebecca crying as she fell to her knees in front of it. But that, of course, is not where we are going to begin tonight.
God damn it.
Tonight, as many nights, we start. Well, we don't always start in another part of the island. Sometimes we start in another part of the island. Tonight, we are most decidedly not in the graveyard. Is it actually evening? In this moment, it appears to be, but it wasn't when you all stepped outside. You had, of course, just come from brunch, though time did pass while you were in the church. We start with the outline of a building in the darkness. There are no lights around it, nothing to give more than the appearance of shape, but it is large and it is sprawling and it is looming. It is an entire campus with wings spreading out in a way that gives the sense of a crouched animal just waiting and watching. There is a fence around it. Nothing more than a basic wire fence with barbed wire on top, but, that wouldn't do much to deter anyone from entering because security is minimal. Which is strange because the blackened marks from the fire decades upon decades upon decades ago, parts of the building in rubble. I mean, this building is an accident waiting to happen. For any urban explorers who decide to investigate, anyone who makes the mistake of walking through those front doors. And tonight, those doors are open. An invitation, if there ever was one. And we pass through them easily and into the hallways. What we find in there is dusty and marked with graffiti for those who have been brave enough to enter. Doors are open or missing entirely. We move through the administrative area, the place where patients arriving for treatment back when this served as the old tuberculosis ward, where they would have been through intake before being assigned to their rooms. The wind, though it was a quiet night a moment before, whistles past us, and it picks up and tosses faded papers through the halls, a skittering sound coming as they brush against the walls and floor. We catch sight of a few pieces of information. A room number. Room 265, to be precise. Though the rest of the identifying information is obscured, maybe even burned. The names of a few doctors. Dr. James Finley. Dr. Andrew Thurston. They're noted on several pieces of paperwork, but we don't have a chance to see much more than that before they're gone, floating out the windows, which are mostly also shattered, and disappearing, presumably, somewhere on the island. We don't see where they land, and that's in part because we're moving. We are moving through the floor, down to the tunnels below, and we've been here before. We remember that tunnel of gray stone, sound of the waves against rocks not too far away, the fairy lights providing a level of illumination and maybe of comfort. The drawings, the ones that at least remain, that one of the building with flames coming out of it, a figure standing over another laying on the bed with a giant syringe in their hand, that funeral pyre with a figure on top of it, 3 figures watching another who has a dark shadow tendril wrapped around their leg, and then that body on the carousel at the playground. But there are others now. A figure standing in the midst of a church in the wild surrounded by flames. Another figure stepping through a wall of water. A third holding a gun and pointing it at a figure on the ground. And the artist in question, that person that we saw before, kneels by the wall. They're still dressed, hood up, so that we can't see them, and they have been drawing furiously. There is chalk dust all over their hands, on their clothes. And they've started on the next one, which appears to be a series of figures standing by a gravestone. But at that moment, they're interrupted. In fact, we're all startled as music starts playing out of nowhere, echoing down the hallway. It seems really out of place, seeing as it's Semi-Charmed Life by Third Eye Blind. The figure startles as well, and then reaches into the pocket of the hoodie that they're wearing and pulls out a flip phone that is definitely an older model. It's honestly a surprise that it's working, as much as it's a surprise that they're getting a signal down here. They look at the number, and then they press the phone to their ear. Presumably. We can't tell because it's hidden in the shadow of the hood. And we hear the voice that we heard before say, "Marcus? Shit, things must be further along than I thought if you're calling me." There's a few beats of silence. Then, "Yeah, it's happening again, but I mean, it's always happening again, isn't it?" I know, I've seen them. It's all connected, it's always connected, but it's different this time. Something's already different. Several somethings have changed. There's a pause, and then a sharp intake of breath. And the figure is clearly upset as they say, No, fuck that, Marcus. I'm not leaving. You know it's not safe for me to leave." Something else is said to them. Their voice rises even more. "There's nothing out there that I can't do from here." No. I said no. And my answer isn't going to change. They pull the phone down from their ear, and there's a moment where they seem to be considering just throwing it at the wall, down the hall. They don't seem to be picky, but they stop themselves. They take a few deep breaths, and they raise the phone to their ear again. "I'll tell you what I've seen, and that's it. They're at the graveyard, and it's about to get a lot worse." They lower the phone without saying goodbye, put it back into their pocket, and hunch over for a few moments, just breathing heavily. And then their head snaps back, violently and unnaturally, and the hood falls off. But it doesn't give us much more of a sense of who this person is because their face is covered with a wild and tangled beard. There is dirt smudged all around, almost obscuring their eyes, and their hair is long and matted. But we don't really notice most of that because what matters is the fact that their eyes are completely white, not rolled back, just white. They remain frozen for a few moments before their head snaps back and they hunch over, breathing heavily, and their hand reaches for that piece of chalk, almost on its own accord. And they start drawing furiously on the wall. But we don't have a chance to see anything more than what appears to maybe be a pool of blood, or maybe shadow, or maybe water, but it's dark and it's deep and we're moving through it. And then we are out. And we are standing in the midst of tombstones, with a figure sobbing as they kneel in front of a grave that carries the name Isaiah Carpenter. And we are actually going to start with Rebecca, because you are kneeling in front of the grave of a person who is very important to you. And last time you had quite the shock. Not only did you find yourself standing in front of a painting that you knew he did, depicting a woman you would never have placed in the role that he placed her in. You then saw that he is no longer with us, and not just is he no longer with us, there were some things on that gravestone that were particularly distressing. Sentiments like beloved father and husband. And you are realizing that he lived an entire life without you. And Rebecca, I think this brings you back to moments that you shared with Isaiah, and I'm curious, where would the two of you most commonly meet?
Most commonly meet by the far side of the island with the narrow beach with the cliffside where the sea caves could be found. It was quieter, and because the beach was smaller and beneath the cliffs, people were less likely to be there. It was good moments to just kind of be together and with nature and feeling like we were the only two in the world at the moment.
And that is indeed what the two of you are doing as you are thinking back to those moments, and a particular memory settles in. At first, it's hard to tease apart from the others. They were all so similar. You and Isaiah there. Well, I guess let me ask you. Did you let him sketch you? Did you let him draw you?
Not initially. It took, not because she was shy, but because she didn't feel like she was worthy of being drawn. It took some convincing on his behalf for him to finally be able to start sketching her.
And that helps you place this in time and space because you feel as comfortable as you ever felt as he sits there sketchbook resting against his knees, glancing over occasionally at you as you just lay back and enjoy the fact that you have this space together. And you've likely been quiet for a bit before he breaks the silence, not looking at you, looking down at the page, and just asks, "Why all the secrecy?"
What are you talking about?
Why do we always meet here? I mean, I know it's our place, and I love the fact that it's our place, but why can't we let people see us together?
Being seen together would make more pressure, more questions of, oh, is it serious? Oh, how long have you been together? Other things. I don't want to put pressure on this, what we have, because certain things break under pressure. I don't want this to break. Or at least I want it to stay quiet before it feels ready, that it could withstand the pressure. If that makes sense.
I mean, you're the one in the driver's seat there, Rebecca. It's always going to be your choice, but I mean, at some point, people are going to have to know, aren't they?
You'd prefer to have that happen sooner?
I'd just like to be able to take you out to the movies, share a milkshake at the diner.
Never shared a milkshake before.
We could do that.
You're sure?
I mean, I'm sure that's something I want. I mean, Rebecca, and he looks up. He's kind of been glancing up occasionally, but mostly looking down. And he waits until your eyes meet and says, "Ever since the moment I saw you, I've never had a moment like that. I looked into your eyes and I knew that I would never love anyone else."
Just from the first meeting? How that that's a fairy tale fantasy. That doesn't actually happen.
Of course, it actually happens. The whole idea of soulmates.
You think I'm your soulmate?
You even have to ask.
I'm not. uh,
Yeah,
I'm
just fucking
not
grip
the
it,
best.
rip it, baby. Slop that down, dude.
Thank you for the donation.
Crack one for the big boy.
Thank you, Cass.
I mean, compared to others on the island, there's a lot of ways I'm lacking.
What are you talking about? Rebecca, come on.
You can see she kind of is conflicted about opening up because she doesn't do that. But with everything Isaiah has been saying to her, she kind of she takes a deep breath and just very tentatively says, I had a very strict upbringing. And there was a lot of expectations that I had trouble meeting, and I just know Della!
I'm here.
Welcome!
Hi, Della.
Hello. How's everybody doing?
Great! Having a fun little flashback.
Ooh, we love a fun little flashback.
So fun.
All right, I will catch up here now.
Yay.
Take a few deep breaths and watch
You're
Rebecca
here.
suffer.
Yes.
Love it.
Story of her life. Pathetic wet rat, yes. There was a lot of expectations I had trouble meeting, and I know that I need to do my best to be a good person and to make sure that I don't sin beyond what's forgiving. And this is probably not what you were looking for. I'm sorry.
Rebecca, can I show you something?
Sure.
And he moves closer and he shows you the drawing that he's been working on of you. And you look at it, and you have never seen yourself look so peaceful, so innocent. And he holds the sketchbook between the two of you and says, This is who you are. This is what I see every time I look at you. You are already perfect.
I have a long way to go before I could be considered perfect, but see, she's kind of looking at the drawing with just this very desperate longing, almost hungry in her eyes. Just being like, but I would love to be able to look into the mirror and see myself like that one day.
And he takes your hand, looks deep into your eyes, and says, Rebecca, as long as I am living, I will do everything that I need to ensure that that is who you see looking back at yourself from the mirror every single day of your life. I will help you do whatever needs to be done for that to happen.
She just looks very overwhelmed emotionally and just says, I don't know what I did to deserve you, but I'm very, very happy that I have you, Isaiah.
And that is the moment that we pull back and return to the present moment where Rebecca in Kai's body is sobbing in front of Isaiah Carpenter's gravestone.
I think.
Did you know him?
Yeah. Sophie's just gonna come up and just like pat her back.
She flinches initially, but she just kind of nods in response to Rachel and just says, he was my soulmate.
Yeah, those don't exist.
She just starts crying harder.
Dominic, not the time.
It's absolutely for her to be sobbing in the middle of a
graveyard. Yeah, it seems like the appropriate time to allow her to do this.
Okay, so here's the thing, though. She is or was more than likely already dead, and so revisiting whatever this moment is, I'm gonna go.
Maybe it's what she needs to pass on.
I doubt it.
Dominic.
Yeah.
There.
What, where would you go if you could go anywhere on this island? Like, where are you trying to go?
To the dock. The pier, see if I can find someone with a boat that I can pay to get me off of here.
And you're gonna take Raven with you?
I mean, honestly, I could probably deal with that. I cannot. I don't think. I know that you are so stoked, so amped to be here. I know this is really, really playing into your murder mystery dinner theater bullshit.
It's called a thesis, but okay,
want
dissertation.
to go thesis, sure. I would like to go home. I was brought here under false pretenses, from what I'm seeing. They've cut self-service. The ferry's gone. I'm going to look for other alternatives.
All right.
Kind of in the midst of that, Rebecca kind of in between sobs, just like, what murder?
Oh. Well, it turns out that there were a whole mess of murders done back in the day. Probably, well, by Isaiah.
That's what you're talking about now? But it's not then. This is completely different.
Do you drink coffee? Like, should we get you some water?
Either one.
Where do you feel like the most comfortable?
I don't. It's private, but the church. I feel comfortable in the church.
Okay.
That one would be fine.
Okay. Well, we're right next to the church, so maybe you can sit down. We'll get you some water, and you seem like the most fragile of them so far, so I want to make sure we don't.
Them?
Rachel is going to kind of smack your arm, like,
sorry. Group friends.
I I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a burden. I can go.
No, come inside. Come to the church.
Can
Sit
you?
down.
I'm actually curious. Like, can you go and bring Kai back?
Kai.
The young gentleman whose body you're currently inhabiting.
Right. I've never done anything like that before. I don't know why I'm here.
Think about it real hard. Think happy or sad thoughts, whichever one makes you float better.
What's like the last big thing Kai did?
It feels like there's a. I know. It feels like there's a wall. I can't find him.
That's fine. Why don't we like Sophie said, why don't we go on into the church and we'll sit down. Weston, if you can't find a place to go, if you can't find anybody with a boat, come back and find me and I'll see what I can do for you.
Yeah, okay. Sure. Let's see what we can do.
Did anyone else? I think actually Sophie turns to Rachel and says, like, kind of quietly, as we're leading Rebecca into the church, just says, I know you were considering leaving as well. Is that still something you want to do?
Oh, it's something I want to do very much. I just don't. I've got a powerful unfinished business here.
Right.
And
okay.
If I don't have to call in a favor from certain people, I'm not gonna. Yes.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, no, for sure. And if Dominic finds someone, maybe he won't let us know, actually, will he? No.
Oh, absolutely not. That man, if he
No.
finds somebody, he's gone. He's gone. But I don't think he's gonna.
Okay. Well, let's get Rebecca some water. Do you think it's a good idea to tell her everything? I guess that kind of helped Siobhan, right?
That helped Siobhan, but we just told her soulmate murdered people, and all she said was that was then. So I'm gonna go on ahead.
That is interesting, huh?
And get her some water. And if you want to go and do some more interviewing and taking a notes, I reckon that would be mighty fine. But given how she responded to that painting of my friend, my me, I reckon maybe don't let that one loose yet till we know what that was all about.
Right. No, we should totally figure out everything that's going on.
All right.
Incredible. So we are going to leave the three of you who have disappeared out of the foggy and misty graveyard back into the church. We're going to follow Weston for a moment as he heads down to the dock. Out of curiosity, does he stop anywhere on the way, or does he just go straight to that location?
I don't think he's stopping in any place in particular. I think he's having some trouble with reflective surfaces. Because he's looking, like he adjusts his rearview mirror and he might see some asshole just reclined, sitting back, arms along the back. And he and the person in his head are having interesting conversations. So he has to pause, makes the drive down to the dock. Unfun, for sure.
And I would say that is why, Weston, it takes you a few moments to realize what you are then looking at as you look out at the dock. Because you remember coming in on the ferry. There were boats almost everywhere you looked. I mean, this is an island. It would seem that many of the inhabitants likely have their own boats in order to get to and from and be able to go places other than the mainland as well. But water is a reflective surface, and you are trying to not look too hard at it, which means you notice the absence first. Something is missing. And as you look around, trying hard to not look at the water itself, there isn't a single boat in sight. There were 30, 40, 50 that were either kind of moored out on the water or on the dock itself. And every single one of them is no longer there.
He takes a moment, ignores the chuckling in his head. He's going to grab one of the cigarettes that Raven managed to procure. He's just going to have a smoke on the dock as he sort of thinks about his options. There aren't many. And by the end of it, with annoyance, I think he's less high now. There was a high stress situation. He's definitely not nearly as high. On the come down for sure. I think Weston will head back to the church. Wait. The pamphlet that first brought Raven. I'm gonna find that one again. Actually look at it and see what it was about, because I think immediately picked it up and zoned out.
I love that for you.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be back to that in just a moment.
Yeah, fantastic.
I'm going to say that we are going to return with Rachel. So, Rachel, you have gone in search of water, coffee, something that you could bring back to Rebecca. Is that all you are doing?
I think I'm going to, given that that's what she said, given that she did not indicate no surprise, no alarm, no like denial, refutation, nothing. And she said that this church was a special place for her. I am going to find some water, but I'm also gonna I'm gonna look around this place like I was searching for bugs. I'm gonna sweep this place like I swept the hotel room.
I am going to have you roll with awareness.
So here's a fun thing. My character sheet was on the computer that got stolen.
No.
So, give me a minute to. It's gonna take me a minute to redevelop my character sheets. I may have it on this thing. It's gonna take me a second. What is the base level of? Oh, here's. No, it is here. I still have it. Beautiful. Okay, here's Shiv, which I think is the. There's Shiv, and here's Rachel. Hooray.
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Beautiful. Okay, so I can roll awareness. Now I can use either. I'm facing as Rachel right now, so I'm going to use Rachel's stats. So I'm going to use Rachel. Yeah. Okay, that's a 9.
Awesome. So you are very good at attention to detail. You are moving through, and because of who Rachel is, I think the first thing she would realize just automatically is, well, there are a number of things that could be used as weapons. Like, there is nothing that would be an immediate threat in this vicinity. Mm-hmm. So you kind of are paying attention to that. You are making note of sharp edges, that type of thing. Mm-hmm. The fact that, the cross on the altar is heavy and could do some damage. You're taking in all of those pieces.
Right. I'm actually more interested in secret compartments than I am with weaponry.
I think they actually go hand in hand, because as you're taking a look at that cross, seeing, is this fully metal or is it hollow? You move it, and a stone right behind the altar moves.
This is some escape room mystery shenanigans. What do you think, Rachel? Should we do it? I reckon they're busy. And she's gonna investigate.
Incredible. So it leads away to a very narrow set of stone stairs that go somewhere beneath the church. There are no lights that you can see.
It would be very, very stupid to die down here and have nobody know what happened. All right. She'll set that thing back up. She'll set the thing back up. Does it close when I move the thing back?
It does.
Cool. hate that for me. All right, let's go. And I will get the water and head back toward Rebecca and the most normal person.
The mom of the group.
And the mom of the group.
No.
Mama.
Don't feed this. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for acknowledging it. I really appreciate that.
We know. It's true. You are the most normal one.
Yep. What have Sophie and Rebecca been up to? And by Sophie and Rebecca, I really mean, what questions has Sophie been asking Rebecca as we have left the two of you sitting in one of the back offices?
I think Sophie, if Rebecca will allow, is just kind of sitting next to her, still kind of like trying to comfort her, like hand on back or holding her hand or something like that. And if she's sharing, like if Rebecca is sharing or, you know, talking or anything like that, she's just kind of like taking it all in. I don't know if Rebecca is, though.
I think Rebecca is not rejecting the comforting touch. It's more she's accepting it, but from her body language, it's kind of she's not used to this. I would say, given that Kai had also eaten the brownies, she's probably on the come down because he's on the come down, which is not helping her emotional state. So she's looking kind of like very like, just feel so sick. My head hurts, and I don't. Everything's different here, but I don't know why I'm here. Why am I here?
I mean, there could be a lot of different reasons. Maybe it has
punished.
No, well, actually, I don't know that.
I'm probably being punished.
What would you be punished for?
Not being good enough.
What makes you not good?
I can't do things right. I'm hurt into people. I just make things worse.
I think if you know, if that were true, the fact that you came back or is here, I guess, you know, a testament to your perseverance and impact. You said you were from 1936 is the last thing you remember?
Yes.
Do you remember people going missing?
It was all over the island.
Do you remember anyone named Siobhan?
JD, remind me.
You recognize Siobhan. So, yes, you recognize that name.
I know of her, yes.
Were you weren't close then?
No. She wasn't from here. I don't really talk much to people from outside the island.
Were you friends with anyone else? I guess other than Isaiah.
Father Daniels at the time was a priest. He was very nice.
He was a priest here?
Yes. And I imagine he's long since passed on. He was an older man. He was in his 60s at the time.
Oh. What do you last remember?
Rebecca, the memory that pops into your head. Maybe it's because of what you remembered with Isaiah earlier. Maybe it's because you're talking about Siobhan. But you remember seeing Siobhan and Isaiah at the diner sharing a milkshake.
That bitch. Not Siobhan. Isaiah is a bitch. She just kind of...
And I'll note, have it coming.
He did
He's
have
a bitch.
Absolutely.
And
a bitch, and he had it coming.
It's true.
Absolutely. It's true. That's fact.
Rebecca just kind of... Her face goes pale, and she just sucks in a breath, and she's like, they were on a... They were on a date at the diner.
Who?
Isaiah and Siobhan.
I thought you and Isaiah were close.
Wasn't enough. It's like I said, I try very hard, but I'm never enough.
And that's the last thing you remember? Oh, go ahead.
JD, really quick. Do I remember Siobhan's murder, or was that... Rebecca's not aware that Siobhan had been murdered? Just a quick clarify.
You are aware of Siobhan's murder, but you were not there for it.
Gotcha. That popped into my head when you asked what's the last thing I remember. Maybe everything's muddled because this isn't my body. I don't know why I'm in a man's body.
You know, a lot of people ask themselves that question.
Does this happen often?
Surprisingly, yeah. I guess in your situation, it's a little bit different, but considering that we've had it happen at least 2 other times, I'm going to go with it's pretty common.
But it's not a punishment. It's just as...
I haven't seen anyone else be punished or talk about punishment in any way. Maybe you're here to help. You said Isaiah and some of the people during that time, and honestly, there's not a lot that we know of those murders. And now that there's been another, maybe you're here to help, make a link or solve this once and for all. Who was the Ash Wednesday killer, that sort of thing.
And that, I think, is the moment that you, Rachel, walk back in.
Oh, water.
Thank you. It's very kind.
Oh no, Della, you are muted.
Here you go. Are you all right?
I feel kind of sick, but being here helps. I suppose it's different, but it still feels close to what it used to be.
Yeah. It's a very strange experience. I had it weird enough coming back into an old body. You gotta find it pretty strange coming back into a whole different gender.
It's very strange.
Do you you knew this place, right?
Oh, yes. I was here every Sunday for church, and I would volunteer and I would help around as needed.
Did you ever happen to move that big old cross that's up on the altar?
Oh, you found the tunnel.
Oh yeah, there's a secret tunnel. I was gonna go down in there, but then I thought I don't know if that thing's gonna shut right on behind me, and then I would die in a hole all by myself, and I did not need that in my life.
Do you have your phone? I mean, we could have tracked it with GPS. But
No.
actually, I'm glad you came back because I want to go in that tunnel too.
Yeah,
You
well,
can
I knew
carry
I
the
knew that
phone.
too. I was also thinking about you. But no, we can't do that. We ain't got no cell service.
That's fair. You know, Rebecca knew, actually, it's fine. Rebecca knew some people. Rebecca
Jeez.
knew some people in town.
Good. I'm glad. I mean, you were from here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was born and raised here. I've never left the island.
Excellent. All right. All right. Do you know where that secret tunnel?
Oh, yes, I remember. There used to be very few rumors that maybe it was used during Prohibition, but I can't imagine that would have been the case, at least not to the church.
Oh no, I'm certain. I'm certain it was, if anything, I'm certain it was some, you know, kind and beneficial reason. Why don't we go take a look? Did you ever go down in them?
A few times.
Would you mind showing us the way?
I could I could try. I'll need a light though.
We got a light.
Should
I'm going to
we?
just pull out a flashlight. I'm going to use my my parent move. Always prepared to declare that I have a little pocket flashlight.
That
I will
makes sense.
100% allow that.
Will your friend be worried if he doesn't know where you are?
Dominic?
Friend is a expansive word.
Oh.
So we should leave a note. Maybe, I don't know if we have any paper, or we could write in the Bible.
All right. I'm not a religious person, but I ain't desecrating the Bible in a clearly haunted as shit church. That sounds like a great reason to attract some kind of bogey that I don't need to deal with.
Rebecca.
Sophia.
Yeah, you remember that was one of the ways that you and Isaiah passed notes back and forth. You would write in the margins of one of the hymnals.
Okay, it's not the Bible.
No, we don't need to leave him a note, because what's that note going to say? Some random person going to walk up to the church, see that somebody's nailed some thesis to the door of the church, check that out, and we'll be like, hey, we're hiding in the tunnels underneath the church. We fucked around with the altar, just went crawling into no, thank you. But let's just.
I mean, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. You have a flashlight. I have my camera. Let's go. Would you all be okay if I recorded this?
As a radio broadcast?
Yes, with moving pictures.
How can you
of
carry
whatever
that
we
with
see.
you?
Science.
So you know how technology jumped forward a lot post World War II? You know how like your parents would say things like how things weren't like the way they used to be, and how cars.
Her face just kind of falls at the mention of parents, and it's just like, I heard some talk about it.
Right. So wait, what was their era?
So the
36.
1930, yeah, 36.
Okay, never
30s
mind.
and like
I was like, post? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't know that. Well, you know how a lot of technology was sort of coming out, was changing, everything was sort of changing.
Turn of the century.
Turn of the century, things changed a lot even faster after that. Some shit happened. Some shit went down. Some pretty major shit went down, in fact, and moved technology forward in ways that would be inexplicable then. And anyway, we've got this magic fucking box in our pockets that connects us to the whole fucking world. And
Well,
mostly
not right
we use
now.
it. Not right now, but mostly we use it to look at videos of cats and watch other people play Dungeons and Dragons on the internet.
the cats sound really nice.
The cats are nice.
She's very overwhelmed.
Would it be? Do you want to see what like a test of what I'm talking about, just so you're not freaked out?
Maybe once my headache goes away.
For sure. I'm still gonna record though, if that's cool.
Sure.
Cool.
I don't
awesome.
like it. I don't like it. I don't like you recording me.
I won't record you. I'll just if
I know how recording works. You're not gonna record me. All right.
I'll go on the front.
Mm-hmm.
And right as you say that, Sophie, you all hear footsteps coming from the church.
Father Daniels.
He's still alive? Will he come back too?
Maybe. We're about to find out.
And we're going to pan away from all of you for a moment to go back to Weston. So, Weston, you had sat down wanting to read that pamphlet on the Church of the Sacred Flame.
Yeah.
It is incredibly difficult as you start. Like, you're looking down and you can just feel that you are looking through two different sets of eyes. The letters keep going in and out of focus. They swim around the page. You can't make sense of them.
Gotcha.
But Weston is determined.
Mm-hmm.
And you are able to push through enough to begin reading. And what strikes you? You are a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
You are used to absolute bullshit. And it is evident, even before I would imagine you hear that chuckle, that the person who wrote these words does not believe them at all. They are a whole lot of meaningless platitudes designed to attract those who are vulnerable, saying absolutely nothing.
Yep. Empty quotes. Just. Let me guess. You wrote this. Of course you did. Okay. All right, so listen. We're both in this shit together. This is my body. You're along for the ride. So maybe if we work together, we can both get out of this. Because you didn't seem too keen to stay. Sort of waiting.
I would like you to roll with Shadow.
Okay. Yes, that is a 7.
7 is not a failure, and that is the important thing.
Correct.
And that is important for a few different reasons.
Uh-huh.
So with that 7, I'm going to give you the break to think about this, Q.
Oh.
But after these lovely words from Weston, attempting to convince Raven of a partnership, I would love to know how Raven reacts when that pamphlet bursts into flame in your hands. And that is the moment we are going to take our break on.
Oh, it's
We'll
getting
be
more
back
haunted. Oh, it's more
in
haunted.
10 minutes.
So Pepita moves from the empty garbage bag, just like a random black garbage bag from on the floor. Sometimes then she moves over to a square wooden thing, little sliver.
Piece of wood.
It's like a little piece of square wood. Loves it. And if she's not on that, then she's on her little styrofoam box from when I bought something ages ago, and it came in like a little styrofoam sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
She loves that little, I can't take it away. She loves it. So anyway, it's either styrofoam, wood, or trash bag. Those are the 3 top choices for her.
Oh,
I mean, you know what? Sure. My cat is either here. I used to do not DoorDash, but equivalent. And I kept the little like carry-on bag, like the carry bag it's huge bag. So she will regularly just lay on top of that in my little closet.
Oh.
She takes the corner, like a corner of the bed. It's always the same corner, or immediately on the floor next to the corner that she claims.
We respect that.
You know what?
Her kingdom.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure. I'm not going to question it. Cats are weird, y'all.
They're so weird and so lovable.
Cats are aliens, actually.
You know for sure. Absolutely. Can confirm.
Della, you looked like you were going to say something.
I've been reading a book about cellular biology.
Incredible.
That's all.
Incredible. I have so many questions.
I don't necessarily have answers.
Fair.
And smoothest segue ever. Speaking of questions, you.
Oh shit! I had one. You had one for me.
How does Raven react as the pamphlet explodes into flames in technically both of your hands?
Right. Well, obviously not well. I think there's that knee-jerk reaction to try and take over and, take flight instead of fight. But Weston is stubborn, and so really all that happens is he readily agrees. Just, okay, all right. I want out of here. I made some friends when I was here before, and I don't think those friends are particularly happy with me. So I'd like to go. So yeah.
And Raven, as you're saying that, this time it isn't a voice. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of your soul itself being weighted down. And there is this sense of it being utterly unimaginable for you to leave the island. As though, like, if you kept walking down that dock, you would just start feeling heavier and heavier and heavier until your feet could not move. But there is not that same type of weight for Weston. And you're not sure in this moment where you begin and end. But you do realize, potentially, if he were in the driver's seat, maybe he could be your ticket off. Or maybe, just maybe, there is something you could do that would untether you from the island.
That is also something. I think Raven will step back. There's that moment of, you got it. Because if he's not in control, he can sit back and watch and wait.
And Raven is very good.
Yes. One of his best qualities, honestly. So, with Weston back in control, he, of course, checks the phone, see if perhaps signals come back up.
It has not.
Didn't think so. So then he will put his phone begrudgingly away for the time being. He will head back to the church.
And we follow Weston for a few moments. I would imagine the experience now in terms of reflective surfaces is maybe not quite as disconcerting, because even though Raven is still there, this is agreed upon.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna pan away from that and back towards the church, where the three of you who have been in the back offices, technically, staff area, have heard footsteps ringing out on the stone floors of the church proper.
Oh no.
No, Della, you are muted again.
Sorry, I mute myself while I'm chomping on apples
Fair.
because
Which we respect and appreciate.
Nobody wants to hear that. Yeah, Rachel's gonna stand up and be like, "All right, hold on," and she's gonna head on out there and see who it is.
Oh.
Do the other two of you wait, or do you follow?
Y'all can stay put if you want. I'm gonna let them know what's going on.
Sophie's gonna just kind of do whatever Rebecca does.
Rebecca starts to follow, but then she kind of freezes. She's like, "This is my body. Is it? Should I? Is it noticeable that it's me?"
Do you want to see a picture?
No.
Okay. Because I can show you.
No, thank you. It's just a lot. I think that she will follow after Rachel.
Sophie's right behind then.
And so, Rachel, you are a few steps ahead of the two of them, and so you are the first to see the figure who is walking down the aisle. He is a man of, you would estimate, late 30s, early 40s, maybe. He has short cropped blonde hair, not like buzzed, but, you know, on the shorter side, neatly combed, slicked back. And I'm going to say it would catch your attention because you have great attention to detail. The blonde is not his natural color. His eyebrows are considerably darker. And he is dressed in a button-down shirt tucked neatly into a pair of black jeans. And he pauses when he hears your footsteps and glances at where you came from.
Hi, sorry, we came. We're just sort of looking around the grounds. And this young gentleman behind me took a turn, and so we were in here just getting him some water. We figured there'd be something back here, so we're not trying to scare anybody, not trying to surprise anybody. Hi, my name's Rachel Blauhair. How are you?
And he looks worried as he looks over ostensibly at Kai and takes then your offered hand, Rachel, and says, "Well, there seems to be a lot going on here, but it's a pleasure to meet you. I'm Carrie Dalton. I'm glad that you were able to find your way, and I suppose the front door is always unlocked."
And she'll sort of shake his hand. Sorry.
Carrie Dalton, the politician.
Well, yes, currently, you could say that. I think that there are a lot of needs in this town that are not currently being served. And as a pillar of this community, it seems it may fall to me to address that. But, I mean, I am currently, and have been for a number of years, the church administrator here. I am also the Eucharistic minister.
Well, that's great. So gosh, I hope we didn't. I'm sorry, I'm not particularly religious myself. I hope we didn't mess anything up back there. We found a little, just like a little sink back there and cups. I don't reckon we touched anything.
I wouldn't worry about that at all. This is a house of God. All are welcome.
Glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. Well, we were just, we were sort of sitting back there having a conversation, sort of calming things down, and we were gonna, walk back into town and see if we, if there's anything else we could, do for our friend here, our new friend here. Um, but is there anything? Is there anything I can help you out with? Is there anything you need up here?
And he just kind of looks over at Kai and says, I'm a bit more concerned about what all of you might need. Is there anything I can get for you? Could I offer you a ride into town? If you're staying at the hotel, anything like that you need, especially you, son, and gestures towards Kai.
Takes a brief second for Rebecca to be like, oh, me. Just like, oh, they've been very helpful. Your last name is Dalton?
It is, yes. We have a pretty long-standing history on the island.
Oh, so your family's been from here?
It has, yes. I mean, as have most of the families. It's part of why we can always tell when there are new arrivals. We tend to see the same faces year after year after year.
Of course.
Well, I kind of gathered. That's why I wanted to come out here and meet you, so you didn't just see three strangers from off the island you never seen before in your life, just sort of sitting around back in your staff area.
Yeah. How's your son doing? Officer Dalton?
Oh, yes. My son is... I suppose you must have run into him in the past day or so.
Well, we've heard the news, so I just wanted to see how he's holding up.
Son?
Son, my younger son.
How old did Officer Dalton look?
He looked in like his early 20s. Late 20s. Like 19, 20, like he was definitely fresh out.
Yeah. And I think Rachel's gonna go, no, there's no way she's gonna sort of do the old lady. There's no way that man is your son. There's no way. You must have gotten an early start on you. She does the inappropriate like old lady thing.
I will admit that both of my sons were born when I was likely younger than would have been optimal, but I am also a bit older than I look.
Wow, there's nothing wrong as long as there's plenty of love in the home. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I always say. Now, is there? Now you mentioned. I hate to impose, but would it be possible to get a ride back into town? I think that would actually be wonderful if we could head back to that hotel.
Of course, I would be happy to do that. Are you okay? And he looks at Sophie.
Yeah, sorry. I do. I would love a ride back. Also, and you said you've been here at the church for a long time.
Yes, started as an altar boy, and I suppose you could say worked my way up.
Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? I'm writing a dissertation about the town and the island, so I would love to get some information from you.
I would be happy to share what I can. Would that be before or after I let you all get back. I'm just worried about your friend here.
While they've been talking, Rebecca's gaze has just unconsciously drifted to the mural of the victims and is just staring at it.
And I also don't believe we've been properly introduced. And he looks towards Sophie.
Right. Still. Sorry. I'm Sophie McAllister. I'm getting, like I said, my master's, doing a dissertation on the island. Part of the reason why we came here to the church, actually, I was interested in the murals, or mural. But we can talk on the way.
He stares at you in response to that and then glances over at Rebecca/Kai and looks worried and says, we find the mural to be a beautiful commemorative piece of art, but I know for some it can be, well, disturbing to see the lives that were tragically cut short in this way.
Yeah. I think maybe it'd be best then to go.
You're Dalton, like, and she just points to Rebecca's, her own mural.
That is actually an interesting question.
Oh, was that not intentional? Because they have the same last name.
That was intentional.
It was?
Did I ever clarify if Rebecca was included? Because I don't believe she was.
She's not.
She's not one of the names listed.
No.
I had to double check, but
don't worry, I have the names right here in front of me.
She's not?
She is not one of the people on there, so
I retract that. I thought she was. I misremembered.
Yep, there are a lot of girls who look like her on there, but she is not one of them, and she is not one of the ones listed. Both her and Siobhan, those names have never shown up.
Well, and then in that case, instead of that, retake it, Rebecca will just be like, it's just must bring up a lot of old memories, given what happened recently.
No, Della, you are mute. Oh, I thought you were still muted. You are not.
No, that was Rachel thinking furiously about how we're going to. Kai, we don't need to, be bringing up tragedies. What happened was tragic.
My apologies. It's been a time.
It's fine. You had a shock out there.
Mm-hmm.
I assume we're sort of like moving at least toward the car.
Yes. Yeah. I will say before you reach the door, as you're starting to walk out, well, there's two things I'm going to make note of. So the first is, Weston, this is right around the time that you pull up in front. But secondly, Kiri has been leading the way, and right in front of the door, he pauses and stops and looks back at you and says, I know that this is not the way things are supposed to work, that privacy and confidentiality and all of that is meant to be kept, but this is a small town, and I do not know if it was some of you or all of you, but word traveled that several newcomers were there last night when that tragic incident was discovered, and I don't want to be making assumptions, but With you so upset, son, I just had to wonder if you were among those who found the body.
The problem Rebecca is having is Kai is giving her nothing. So she's just kind of trying to see if he's giving her anything to work with, and he is not. So she is not sure how to answer that, but she just says, I've never been so close to a crime before. It was alarming that something so terrible could happen in such a beautiful town.
Hey, Rebecca.
Yeah.
Roll with sociability to lie.
Fuck
my Oh my god.
Oh, wow, she actually has 1 in it? Cool. And that's 2d6?
Yep.
That's 1 more than I thought she'd have. Cool. That is an 8, amazingly.
Okay.
And so he studies you for a long moment and looks over at Sophie and then at Rachel and is clearly thinking through the last few minutes of conversation that there have been and says, well, I mean, it seems like you said you were new friends. And he nods towards Sophie and says, seems like she knows a lot about this, but it seems like you just kind of stumbled into the middle of it. I can definitely see why you're having a hard time.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, shall we?
We shall.
Opens the door.
She automatically does the holy water dip cross as she leaves because that's what she does every time.
That's what you do?
What she does every time.
And you make note of that, Rachel.
Mm-hmm.
Sophie, you might be a little bit more distracted, both with your conversation with Carrie, but also with the fact that you see Weston's car has pulled up outside in the parking lot.
Awesome. Yeah.
Pulling up, getting out, and just leaning against the car.
You found a boat and you came back for us.
You were looking for a boat?
Yeah. Do you have one?
I do not. When I have to go into the mainland, I take the ferry.
Right. And the ferry is gone for unknown reasons.
That would be something to talk with our current mayor about.
And the cell tower? Does that often go out?
It does not. And that is concerning to hear. Have you had the opportunity to talk to Mayor Marcus Hart?
No?
A little.
I have not, but I do intend on fixing that post haste.
Sure, we will. Now, unfortunately, we are not your constituents, so we won't be able to vote for you. But
yeah.
If you are the kind of person who can get cell towers fixed and who can make sure the ferry shows up on time, I reckon you'd have my vote.
I will keep that in mind. I am as disconcerted as the 4 of you are about the fact that this is happening. And he takes his phone out of his pocket and he seems genuinely surprised to realize that there is no signal.
It's the dangdest thing.
I Unless Dominic, if can we ride with you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Well, then I would love to still sometime sit down. We can postpone the interview. Are you typically at the church, or is there a good way to contact you that's not a phone?
Well, I mean, I am here the most often, and we do have a landline. So if you're at the hotel, you could reach
Perfect.
the church.
Cool. Thank you so
Here,
much.
and he hands you his card.
Oh, what does it say on it?
It just says
Father Dalton.
Not father. He has no religious title. It just says Eucharistic minister, and that he is church administration.
Oh, heard. Okay. Cool. She slips it into her notebook / like address book, where there's a collection of like business cards and notes and stuff. I will be in touch. Thank you. Really, we appreciate it.
Of course, and if there is anything else I can do, I would be happy to do anything in my power.
We appreciate that. Now
Very
you have an
kind.
excellent afternoon.
Stay safe.
You as well.
And he watches from the steps, kind of like, a parent like watching to make sure that the child gets inside, or when you drop a friend off and you do that.
Yep.
Just to keep an eye on the four of you as you get into Weston's car and head out.
Rachel's going to keep a smiley face on, and until they're out of sight. And is going to just drop the mask and be like, "Priest is worse than fucking cops. I swear to God."
Yeah, who is that guy?
Eucharistic minister.
Yeah.
Gross.
He's a priest, but he can fuck.
Ah.
Also
Rebecca
running
looks
for mayor.
Scandalized. Just...
I mean, not too bad. Looking in the rearview mirror, back at Rebecca. Are you still a mess?
I am less of a mess.
So yes. This keeps going. All right. So found no boat. There are none.
They out fishing?
I think I would have seen the boats out on the water if they were out fishing.
Is there like a dock master or someone like we can talk
Harbor
to?
master. It would be a
Right.
harbor master.
Okay.
Not that I saw at the time.
You mentioned talking to the mayor?
I do want to do that. Yes.
Yes.
So.
I'm trying to remember if he likes us or not. Sophie turns to Rachel for that.
Oh, does he like us?
Why wouldn't he like us?
Did he like us, or did he?
I don't think he interacted.
He did not interact with. He did
Weston.
not interact with Kai or Weston. I think he's only interacted. I think Rachel had turned on her. I don't know. I'm just a harmless old Southern lady.
And I was like,
hard.
"You're my aunt" or something like that.
And then Siobhan came out.
It was Siobhan. It was Siobhan, and she was fully on. She was fully on crazy mode. So yeah, he probably.
We full on lied to that man.
Yeah. Well, you were looking after your dear friend who was in shock.
Yeah. And then our other new friend who's in shock. Cool.
Rebecca's just kind of staring out the windows or driving, just looking at the town and how it's different. It just kind of murmurs, his last name was Dalton.
Is that familiar to you?
Yeah, did you have any siblings or anything like that?
You did. You had an older sister.
I had an older sister, but she would have changed her name if she got married.
Maybe she was progressive?
Was she progressive, or do I not have that information?
You don't have that information.
Progressive in the 1930s, unless progressive in the 1930s might have been keeping your name, but it was definitely not giving your kids your name.
That's fair.
More likely, parents had a younger brother.
Oh.
You did have aunts and uncles.
I did have aunts and uncles on my father's side.
Or that.
Cousins or something?
Maybe.
Not close with your family?
My mother didn't really feel comfortable with my sister and I going out much after our father passed.
Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't know.
It was when we were very young, so I don't remember much about him.
Is meeting some of your family something you would like?
I think it would be a little strange right now to do so.
It doesn't have to be right now. Just, the opportunity is there if you'd like to.
They wouldn't know it was me.
Yeah, but you'd know.
Okay. Do you have an idea of where your city hall would be? I imagine that's one of the.
If they haven't moved it.
It's one of the ones I doubt they've moved.
That is correct.
And she will give directions from what she remembers. Maybe there's a few extra roads now than there used to be then, but if the main roads are mainly relatively in the same location, she can probably navigate the way.
It's in the center of town, and it's a bit hard to miss. I mean, it is clearly a historic building. It has a bell tower on the top of it. It draws attention.
Great. So, Weston Dominic is going straight there. Not wasting time.
I would like an awareness roll from everyone.
Oh boy.
Okay. Oh shit. That's a 12.
Let's go.
11.
Damn, Rebecca. Doing something
10,
right.
11, 12. Let's go.
11.
Nice.
We're on high alert.
So aware.
Paranoia fully out.
Absolutely aware.
Yeah, I got 2 vibes, baby. Let's go.
Incredible. So yes, I mean, all of you, whether it is through glancing in the rearview mirror, whether it is like glancing over your shoulder, you see that Carrie Dalton is following you.
Oh, I don't like that.
Seems very odd for a Eucharistic minister to do.
Dominic?
But not odd for somebody wanting political power.
I suppose.
Do you want to take a couple extra turns just to see?
Oh, absolutely.
Dominic, I would love
3 left turns would be perfect.
And if he's still following us, take us back to the hotel. I'll get out with Rachel. I'm sorry, I'll get out with Rebecca, and we'll do that, and then you guys can go talk to the mayor, because I think that's important. But we also need to show this man taking a couple random turns we could be lost.
We're new here.
We're new.
There's no GPS.
There's no GPS.
Now, I am going to try and talk to the mayor. I want us to meet at the museum.
At the museum?
Yep. We were
You
supposed
got
to go there anyway.
You got it.
All right. So
This is so exciting.
We're gonna take those wrong turns.
Those 3 lefts.
Those 3 lefts. Yep.
And he stays, I mean, not right behind you, but he continues to follow. All the way to the hotel.
Okay.
I don't like this. And
I don't like this either.
Rebecca would have been watching the whole time. Why does he think we'd be up to something?
He's got no good reason to do that. So either he thinks we're up to something and he himself is up to something, or he's just worried about you and wants to make sure you get to where you were going safe, and we wanted to go back to the hotel. So if he follows them, we'll know that he's up to something. If he stops, watches us go into the hotel, and heads out, we'll know he's probably just looking for that. All right?
So I shouldn't watch him as we go in?
You should not
You
watch
should
him.
not.
Don't
You should
make
not.
it obvious.
Do not look at him. When we get out, best thing you can do is look right at the ground, act like you're very tired. You said you had a headache before. Play it up.
Okay. I can do that.
Will ibuprofen kill her? I have some in my room. Did ibuprofen exist in the 30s? Some Advil?
I don't know. Ibuprofen never killed a goddamn person. Oh, that's not true. It takes a lot of ibuprofen to kill somebody.
Yeah, it takes a bit.
Fair. I have some in my room if you want some. I always carry some around, never know.
Is it? How much is it safe to take?
Just one.
Unless you're allergic.
Okay.
It's very safe.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to drop you off.
Thank you.
Ibuprofen was derived from propionic acid by the research arm of Boots Group during the 1960s.
Okay, good to know.
The more you know.
I don't know
it. And so you reach the hotel, and you notice as Rebecca / Kai and was it going to be you, Rachel, or you, Sophie?
Rachel.
Rachel. So
2
as
R's.
the 2 of you walk out, not looking over at Carrie Dalton, he waits to see the 2 of you get inside and then leaves before he can see where Weston and Sophie might go.
Okay. So is he still there, or can we not look yet?
I'm sorry, my brain completely fuzzed out. What did you say, JD?
That is okay. Carrie stayed to watch the 2 of you walk inside, but before Weston and Sophie would have left to go talk to the mayor, he left first.
So he was watching
it seemed like
Rebecca
he was
and Rachel.
watching Rebecca and Rachel.
All right.
Okay. To City Hall.
To the mayor. Sophie stays in the back seat and just leans forward.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So I spoke to the mayor earlier. Marcus. Why?
Heart.
Thank you. Mayor Hart. So he was there at the crime scene working with a detective who I wouldn't mind running into again. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. What are you going to do? You're the lawyer, right? So I'm curious. What's your
I'm going
approach
to
here?
talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I can't call out to my contacts, so we're sort of up shit's creek without a paddle. But I can certainly put the fear of God in him and the town.
Town sure does seem to love God, so that might work.
Yeah. I was only there for half of that. I'm getting bits and pieces.
That's right.
Yeah.
What do you think of Rachel? Oh, I'm sorry, not Rachel, Rebecca. Also, I have something to share that I cannot tell Rachel. That's why.
Okay.
Rebecca's final memory, as far as she remembers, is Siobhan and Isaiah Carpenter on a date.
Didn't she say that was her soulmate?
Yes.
See, told you I weren't real.
Siobhan. Okay. He was potentially a serial killer, so.
Yeah. The man wore a leather jacket in the middle of summer. Clearly unhinged.
But I mean, Siobhan hasn't really mentioned anything, right?
Siobhan, and you probably would have remembered this, Siobhan did say that she made a pass at him once and he turned her down.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
And
he turned it down. Heard. Okay.
No, she tried. Maybe that's what she saw.
Interesting. Okay.
Oh.
Well,
so you know what that means? You know what that means? We have a psycho on our hands.
A psycho.
Like jealous type.
Oh, yes. Oh, no, I don't think Rebecca should find out Siobhan is here. But now they're together and alone, so who knows what's going to happen.
Gotcha. Okay. That's fine. Listen, the sooner we can get her wherever the fuck she needs to go, the better. I don't care for that whole energy, if I'm going to be completely honest. It's a lot of fragile emotion for no reason.
Seems very justified, to be honest, but
oh yeah,
do you think the city hall has like a census? Because we don't know how Rebecca died, but I mean, we're on a little bit of a thread here. She did say 1936 was the last thing she remembered. She was very close to her potential killer.
She also didn't seem particularly fazed by the fact that we called her soulmate a murderer. So
yeah, but that's the whole thing, right?
What do you want from me?
But a serial killer wouldn't. That part of it is the charm, right? They're trying to charm their victims or trying to like lure them in, and then or whatever you want to call it. So there's no reason for her to like, she needs to digest, right? She did react pretty strongly at the mural.
Yeah. Hey, JD. I do recall being rather present in that moment with the mural. What was the vibe of Rebecca's response to that? Is there a role I can do to remember or like insight that?
I think you remember because, Steph, correct me if I'm wrong because it has been a month, but when you joined the others, you were expressing a lot of distress over the painting.
Siobhan's. Oh yeah, she tried to rip that down.
Yeah. And
did we see that though?
You did not see that.
No, y'all were out.
But when you came out, I do believe you were still kind of talking to yourself and saying, like, I can't believe he, did that, and I can't believe it was her. So yeah, you would remember that. So you don't remember, you didn't see her reaction to the overall mural, just Sophie and Rachel saw that as they were then leaving with Carrie Dalton. But you do remember Rebecca being very distressed over the painting of Siobhan.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't seem like a, oh, I'm sad emotion. That was a pissed off. That was an anger response.
Right. Yeah.
How could it be her?
Yeah. That's what I mean.
I think that is right where we cut away from the two of you. And go to the two who are at the hotel.
Sure, it's fine.
So where are Rachel / Siobhan and Kai / Rebecca going?
Well, the plan was to reconvene at the museum, right?
Yeah, I think that Rachel is going to pull some aspirin out of a pouch in her bag and hand some to Rebecca and say, "Look, why don't we sit down over here and have a drink to like the cafe, like the little like hotel like sitting area." And order them some coffees or a tea.
There is nowhere to order, unfortunately, but there is
just pour it yourself.
Not good coffee, but there is hot water and tea bags.
Cool. We'll do that then. We'll do that. Just get some tea, sit down. But I'm not taking Kai back up to. I'm not taking Kai / Rebecca back up to. I'm not letting this person see my room.
Fair.
And I think she's gonna sort of sit there and sort of studying Rebecca for a moment. Say, this has all got to be awful strange to you.
It's weird. Some places it feels like they should be familiar, but I don't know why. And maybe that's from Kai, I believe you said his name was. It's very strange. I feel like he's here, but I can't reach him or hear him or anything.
I can't. I'm curious. You said he was your soulmate. What was your relationship with Isaiah Carpenter?
We were dating. He privately, because I just kind of wanted to have the relationship to myself between just the two of us for a bit, and then he said that he fell in love with me when he first saw me, and that could only mean we were soulmates.
Well, that's very sweet.
It was.
When did you find out he was killing people?
Hey, JD.
Yep. Answer this how you choose.
First one. It was supposed to help them.
Mm-hmm. That's why they made sure it went quiet, right?
Their lives were already hurting them enough. They should be able to pass on without any pain.
Mm-hmm.
Was a mercy.
Mm-hmm. And whose idea was that first?
First one was an accident.
Rebecca, roll to lie.
To lie to myself?
To lie to Rachel.
Cool. And that is what roll?
With sociability.
Cool.
I gotta contest this. I've gotta contest this.
Go for it.
Yep, contest it with awareness.
Nope. Oh, shit. That was not a good first number to see. That was a much better number to see, so that is going to be a 9.
I also got a 9.
Okay. Okay, and actually, I think that makes a lot of sense because there is something. I mean, this does not add up. But when she says the first one was an accident, she believes that, and you believe that she believes that.
All right.
What I will say, Rachel, you do a lot of reading of body language, and you do a lot of understanding of the nuances of conversation.
Mm-hmm.
You might want to file away when she's talking about the first one, what that actually means.
Mm-hmm. Accidents are they can be really scary sometimes. Really upsetting. Sometimes maybe they point you in a new direction.
That's what Isaiah said.
I think that a flicker of Siobhan just surfaces, and she is unable to quell the obvious sort of distaste for the idea of sayings, unable to. She's been very, very calm, very nice, very sweet, and then suddenly this comparing her to Isaiah pissed her off.
Valid. He was trash.
He was trash. Trash man.
Mm-hmm.
Throw out the whole man. I did. It was great.
You did?
It was great. It fully soul murdered him. I'm gonna do it again. I'd do it again. You could do it this time. We can trade.
That'd be nice. Maybe be good for her. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Do you know how you died? Do you remember?
Do I remember?
You do. Do you want to share that? I think is the question.
Rebecca just kind of gets very closed off and says, I'd rather not talk about how I died.
I understand. It's not something easy to talk about.
No, it's... I don't know why I'm back. I don't know where I was. I just...
That is an interesting piece. So you say that, Rebecca, and you feel almost as though the world is off balance as you ask that question both to yourself and aloud. Because there isn't the sense of peace that you would associate with heaven, you being a religious person. And there isn't the pain and torment that you would associate with hell. There is just a void. And you do not know how long you were there. But the thought of returning to that endless emptiness is terrifying.
Was I in purgatory? That has to be it. There's nothing. But then, if it's purgatory, how am I supposed to get out of it when there's nothing there? Is this purgatory too?
I don't think so. This is stranger. Where we were, where we go, why we're back is a mystery that we may never solve. And if we do, because if we do, I'm going to have words with whoever came up with it. Now, we're going to drink our tea. We're going to calm down. You assisted in the deaths of several individuals, it sounds like. The cover-ups to follow. I'm going to assume you know how to put on a good face. We're going to put on our good faces, and we're going to walk to that museum. Sound good to you?
Yes. Rekka just seems very confused. Like this initial alarm when Rachel brought up the assisting in the murders just kind of shifts to confusion. But she just says yes.
Excellent. Also, if you tell Sophie any of that we just talked about there, she will die of excitement. I'm just saying. Everything about that. She's going to be so mad.
And we're going to actually pan over to Sophie right now. Because as Weston and Sophie are driving, Sophie, your phone rings.
What?
And I think what we see is Sophie, of course, I would imagine, takes her phone out.
Yeah, I think she's kind of still leaning forward, and as soon as it happens, she definitely has it on vibrate because she's in her 20s.
Valid.
She, like, as soon as she feels it, she just and slips to the back and just quickly picks it up. Sees who it is first.
It's Eric. Do you still pick it up?
No. Not here.
So what happens is, Weston, you see Sophie kind of suddenly sit back, reach into her pocket, look at something, and then put the item, presumably her phone, back in her pocket.
It was bzz, 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 bzz.
And then what happens is another figure leans forward, and Raven leans over almost in your ear and says, "Seems like she's got cell reception. I wonder who Eric is." And that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Snitch! You snitch!
Oh, no! That's dirty!
That is dirty!
That's dirty!
Oh, man!
See, this is what happens when you have friends.
Oh, no!
Wow.
Sophie is just diving in.
Oh,
let's go.
Oh, I can't wait to bust that wide open.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Sophie's too distracted with the sudden urge. Why do I need the car to turn around? I don't know. Something's happening, but we should turn around.
Yeah, I have spidey senses are coming out. And I'm like, I need to turn this
They're
car
talking
around.
about murder without me.
I know they're talking about murder.
I'm sorry. I just saw an opening. I
was a
saw an
good
opening.
No, it was
opening.
beautiful.
It was phenomenal.
That was so
It was
good.
fantastic.
Mhm.
Oh my god, I was losing my absolute mind.
I felt bad because I kept laughing because I was watching Raph and Q's facial
Oh, I
journeys.
didn't notice. I was too focused on
Yeah.
the
Oh my
scene.
god.
You
But
two
I-
were locked in, which was great. I was having a time because Raph
I
was
can't wait.
losing it.
I can't wait to
I
rewatch this.
can't,
Then.
like, my jaw hurts so bad. I'm just
just a normal girly talk.
My favorite was when Raph would just lean forward, fingers in their hair, just.
That happened 4 or 5 times.
It.
4 or 5 times.
It was
I
amazing.
can't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
This was an intense sewed.
Ooh, yeah.
Very good.
You were all
Yes.
phenomenal.
Very good time.
And with that, I think we will move to some outros. And I am realizing in this exact moment, I never even put the music on. You had me all so riveted that I forgot our background.
Didn't
tragic.
Fun.
Did not need it.
Week.
It was fun.
But with that, I am going to now go in actual order instead of the random order I chose last time. And we are going to start with Steph, reminding us of who you are, who you played, why you're awesome, where you can be found, and what's coming up next.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Steph. I was Rebecca, the villain, formerly Kai, the martyr. She's just sad, pathetic, wet rat of a person. JD thought poor little meow meow. I'm still going with wet rat. Just sad, pathetic, wet rat.
You've still committed atrocities, but yes.
She committed atrocities, but she's very sad.
She was just the bearer of all of those plague fleas.
She
really wasn't.
She holds the sins.
problem.
It happens. You know, it happens. Someone has to hold them. Cool motive, still murder. You can find me at SBrownWrites on Blue Sky and Twitter. I can also be found under Lavenza at Live from the Apocalypse on the Discord. And coming up, we have JD running a Lock Tomb inspired one shot of In Extremis tomorrow night. Some cool necromancy shit gonna go down. Then we have part 2 of the 2-parter Monster of the Week, the last last broadcast, one of those. And then Seasons of Secrets and Shadows starts up again, our Monster Hearts Regency flavored game. So stick around for that. And this was a great time tonight.
This was a time, a great one, and a time in general.
Time on Slatethorn.
And Q, you are up next.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize we were doing this today. Hi, I'm Q. You can find me here and there about the internet at Midnight Inc. There's Midnight_INQ. Q is my name. I'm sure you get it. Except for on here, I'm Dorian Black still. I might change that just for, brand consistency. So I'm going to be back next Friday.
Next Friday. Yep.
For 2 Secrets, 2 Shadows. I am very excited, and we're bringing back Mr. Dorian Black. He's had a bit of a change, don't worry about it. And then should be back in 2 weeks for Cold Iron. And then this again?
Mm-hmm.
So we got things. I've got other stuff, other projects in the works. So just keep your eyes out on that. Also, podcast. We have started recording again. So, Code Switching Naturally. We are talking about life and the universe and everything from the realm of being Black in America. We are riding this raggedy bitch till the brakes fall off. So come enjoy the ride along with us.
Incredible. And now I can make sure I remind you to promote that every time.
Yeah.
And Della.
Hello, I am Della. You can find me at Live from the Apocalypse. I have tonight been the combination, the proper melding of Rachel and Siobhan, the parent and the martyr. And And you can find me back here tomorrow night playing Veil Binder, the necromantic jock of the In Extremis game tomorrow night. Veil is very cool. She's so cool. She's the coolest. She wants you to know that she's the coolest. She will fight you if you suggest she's not the coolest, and that's not going to end well for you. And then you can find me back here next Thursday as I run the mid-season finale, mid-season break, final episode of this season of Thy Kingdom Come. There's going to be shenanigans. There's going to be more shenanigans and drugs. Those are the things that there are going to be.
Correct.
Shenanigans and drugs. Got it.
Shenanigans and drugs. That's what we're about here at Live from the Apocalypse. You can also find me if you really want as Durla Kernlands on Blue Sky.
Absolutely incredible. And last but not least, the most normal person in the room, Raph.
So normal. I only play really boring normal characters. Speaking of boring and normal characters, next Tuesday, I will be playing the most absolutely normal character, Amelia Westwood, in our The Lost broadcast, last Monster of the Week, little fun game. Yes. Do you have something to say?
You called it MASH. I just need to highlight the fact that you called that abomination MASH.
Was that something I called, or was that something Corey?
I think that was something Corey did, but I'm blaming you.
That's fine. Corey and I, when we're put together to collaborate, it's a dangerous time. But yes, I'll be playing the very normal, very boring Amelia Westwood next Tuesday. And then I will return in 2 weeks from Tuesday. The Tuesday after for Cold Iron, where I'm playing the very boring Yuna. Very normal, very boring. And then I'll be back here. And then also I'll be in Two Secrets, Two Shadows as a very normal, very boring, no longer dead.
That is true.
That's fact. Spoilers if you haven't watched the ending of that.
Zombies, just
sorry, gang.
Well, I feel like that's
very normal, very boring Carmen.
I think that's an allowed spoiler. I think that was okay.
I think so. Honestly, and even if that was if you're oh no, it's about the journey. So just watch it anyway. And that's it for now. Keep them peepers peeled. You know what I'm saying?
Keep those peepers peeping.
It's about the journey activates my fight or flight response because of Lost, and I just need to acknowledge that.
You could feel me trying not to say that through the screen, couldn't you?
I could. I am going to go quickly because it is late and we have all been having a time lately, and I want to encourage us to sleep. I incidentally sleep a normal amount. It is fine. Hi, I am JD. I do way too many things. You can find me on socials at JD, not Jason Dean. I also am currently running the Live from the Apocalypse social medias, which was a mistake because I am just filling it with bone facts and Locktomb facts, and I will not stop until I am made to stop. I am ungovernable, so it's fine. I can be found here way too much. I am in 90% of the games / running 90% of the games that are currently ongoing. As mentioned, I will be running in Extremis because I want to do space necromancy and I want to support this. So tomorrow night is going to be a wild time. The character concepts are so fucking unhinged. Della said something in a message to me that I literally had to quote back to her, and I was like, what the fuck? And Della was like, I warned you. And I was like, this is true. So, like, it's going to be a wild fucking time. Be here tomorrow at 8. I will also be with Sister Cities over on Exquisite Corpse Presents at 10 p.m. on Saturday night because I make good life choices. And then I will be back here for Monster of the Week and Thy Kingdom Come and Season of Secrets and Shadows all next week. In the midst of that, I will be with Stephanie and a few other lovely people in Penny Dreadful. We are investigating a strange death in paradise. And I am playing the good doctor, Dr. Henry Ellis. Totally normal guy. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We have 3 more episodes of that, so you can find that on Bleak Season's channel. And that, I think, is, last but not least, I can be found with Tales from the Table Studios every Monday for SCP, A Crumbling Foundation. We just returned from a hiatus last week. We will be back this coming Monday. But yeah, otherwise, keep an eye on the socials, and I will let you know where to find me next. The answer is way too many places. But with that, it is late. Several of us have games tomorrow. We shall sleep. And so with that, I would like all of you, my lovely cast, say good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.